A very good morning, students. Today we will do the exercise of chapter 4 of history, that is the Mughal Empire. At first, there are fill in the blanks. So, the very first fill in the blank is Mughal rule began in the dash century CE. Mughal rule began in 16th century CE. Second, the first battle of Panipat took place between dash and dash. So, it took place between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. Third, Babur's autobiography is called Babur Nama. Babur's autobiography is called Babur Nama. Next, Dash defeated Humayun in the Battle of Kannauj. Sher Khan. Sher Khan defeated Humayun in the Battle of Kannauj. Next, Sher Shah introduced the silver coin known as the Dash. It was known as Rupaya. Next, the second battle of Panipat took place between dash and dash. So, it took place between Hemu and Akbar. Hemu was the Hindu emperor of North India, also known as Hemchandra Vikramaditya. He was Adil Shah's able general who occupied Delhi. Next, fill in the blank. The Mansabdari system was introduced by Akbar. Next, the British ambassador who stayed in Jahangir's court as a Mansabdar was Captain William Hawkins. He was Captain William Hawkins. Next, the Taj Mahal was built to house the tomb of Mumtaz Mahal. Mumtaz Mahal. Next, Aurangzeb reintroduced the tax known as Dash on non-Muslim. So it was Jizya. Next are true or false. First one is Babur was a descendant of Timur and Genghis Khan. It is true. From mother's side, Babur was a descendant of Genghis Khan, and from father's side, he was a descendant of Timur. Next, the Baburnama is written in Persian. No, this is false, as the Baburnama was written in Turkey. Next is the Grand Trunk Road was built by Humayun. It is false, as the Grand Trunk Road was built by Sher Shah Suri. Next is Akbar believed in the equality of all religions. This is true, as Akbar was a liberal ruler who believed in the equality and unity of all religions. He always followed the policy of religious tolerance. Next, the Akbarnama was written by Akbar. This one is false, as Akbarnama was written by Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl was the Wazir and historiographer in Akbar's court. He was well known for his work, the Akbarnama. Next, in Jahangir's time, Noor Jahan dominated the administration. This is true. As Noor Jahan acquired tremendous power and influence over the king, she exerted her authority in all matters of administration also. Next, Aurangzeb executed Guru Arjan Dev, the fifth Sikh Guru. This is false, because Aurangzeb executed the ninth Sikh Guru named Guru Tegh Bahadur Singh. Now answer in brief. First one is, name the rulers who invited Babur to India to defeat Ibrahim Lodi. Come to page number 35 for this answer. On page number 35, second column, on page number 35, second line, it is written, he was invited. So instead of he, write, Babur was invited. Instead of he, write, Babur. So Babur was invited by Maharana Sangram Singh, the king of Mewar. Then cut the words popularly known as Rana Sanga. Please cut this. So I am repeating the answer. Babur was invited by Maharana Sangram, the king of Mewar. after that, and Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, to engage and defeat Ibrahim Lodi. Till here. Now, the second question is, why did Humayun have to flee from his kingdom? Did he return? I am dictating the answer, note it down. Sher Khan defeated Humayun. Sher Khan defeated Humayun in the Battle of Chausa, and Battle of Kannauj. I am repeating. Sher Khan defeated Humayun in the Battle of Chausa and Battle of Kannauj. Then, full stop. Humayun then fled away. Full stop. However, in 1555 CE, Humayun made second attempt and captured Lahore, Delhi, and Agra. I am repeating the entire answer. Sher Khan defeated Humayun in the Battle of Chausa and Battle of Kannauj. Humayun then fled away. However, in 1555 CE, Humayun made second attempt and captured Lahore, Delhi, and Agra. Now the third question. Who were the participants in the second battle of Panipat? What was the result of the battle? Again, I am dictating the answer. Note it down. Answer is, the second battle of Panipat was fought between Hemu or Hemchandra Vikramaditya and forces of Akbar. It was won by Akbar. After full stop, it was won by Akbar and Akbar's general Bairam Khan. I am repeating the answer. The second battle of Panipat was fought between Hemu or Hemchandra Vikramaditya and forces of Akbar. It was won by Akbar and Akbar's general Bairam Khan. Now, fourth question is, write a note on the Dini Lai. For this, come to page number 40 in our books. On page number 40, third last line, it is written, Akbar founded. So, our answer will read as, Akbar founded his own religion called Dini Lai or Divine Faith. After that, it was based. Instead of it, write Dini Lai. Cut the word it and write Din-e Ilai. So, Dini Ilai was based on the teachings and beliefs of all the major religions. It stressed belief in one God. Till here, I am repeating the answer. Akbar founded his own religion called Dini Ilai or Divine Faith. Dini Ilai was based on the teachings and belief of all the major religions. It stressed belief in one God. Question number 5 is, name the Navratnas in Akbar's court. Come to page number 41 for this answer. On page number 41, under the heading Art and Culture under Akbar, second line, it is written Navratnas. So, our answer will start from Navratnas or 9 jewels. Cut the word they. So, the answer will read as Navratan or 9 jewels included Mia Tansen, the court singer and magician, Abul Fazl, the court poet and chronicle, Birbal, who was known for his wit and wisdom, Todamal and Mansingh, a renowned general. I am repeating the answer. Navratans or 9 jewels included Mia Tansen, the court singer and magician, Abul Fazl, the court poet and chronicle, Birbal, who was known for his wit and wisdom, Todarmal and Mansingh was a renowned general. In our books, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names are given. So we will take only 5 names. We will write in our answer only these 5 names. Question number 6. Name the British visitors sent by King James I to the court of Jahangir. So write the answer. The British visitors sent by King James I to the court of Jahangir are, we have to write from the question first. British visitors sent by King James I to the court of Jahangir are, first, Captain William Hawkins. Captain William Hawkins. Second, Sir Thomas Roe. Second, Sir Thomas Roe. Next question is, what is the Mansabdari system? For this, come to page number 39 of our books. We will write this answer really short. So, on page number 39, under the heading Military Administration, the Mansabdari system, it is first line and first line and last word. It is written the Mansabdari system. Cut the words IE and write is. So the answer will read as, the Mansabdari system is a system which consisted of hierarchy of ranks or offices. So it is still here. I am repeating the answer. The Mansabdari system is a system which consisted of a hierarchy of ranks or offices. Question number 8. Which act of Aurangzeb antagonized the Sikhs? For this, come to page number 45. On page number 45, under the heading Conflicts Elsewhere, it is fourth line, and on fourth line it is written, the execution of ninth Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur by Aurangzeb made the peace-loving Sikhs take up their arms. This is answer number 8. I am repeating the answer. The execution of ninth Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur by Aurangzeb made the peace-loving Sikh take up arms. Now answer in detail. First one is, describe the personal qualities of Babur. For this, come to page number 36. We will write this answer in points. So on page number 36, under the heading Babur's character, it is fourth line, it is written, Babur was a scholar. This is first point. Second point is, it is written shrewd. Before shrewd, write, he was a shrewd observer. So second point will read as, he was a shrewd observer. Third point, it is written and a. So instead of and, write, he was also. So third point, instead of and, cut, the third point will be, he was also a poet with sensitive understanding of fine arts. This is third point. After this, fourth point, last line, he never persecuted Hindus. Fourth point is, he never persecuted, instead of them, write Hindus. So I am repeating the whole answer again. First point is, Babur was a scholar. Second point, he was a shrewd observer. Third, he was also a poet with a sensitive understanding of the fine arts. Fourth point, he never persecuted Hindus. Now question number 2, give a short sketch of Akbar's conquest. For this, come to page number 39. On page number 39, under the heading Akbar's conquest, very first line, it says, Akbar was an ambitious man. After this, cut the word after consolidating and write, he consolidated. Instead of after consolidating, write, he consolidated his rule over Delhi and Agra. After this, instead of comma, write and. So the sentence will read as, he consolidated his rule over Delhi and Agra, and he began to systematically subjugate all his potential rivals. After this, you have to write from here the Mughal. So it will read as, the Mughal empire stretched from Afghanistan to Bengal and from Kashmir to Deccan? I'm repeating the answer. Akbar was an ambitious man. He consolidated his rule over Delhi and Agra, and he began to systematically subjugate all his potential rivals. The Mughal Empire stretched from Afghanistan to Bengal and from Kashmir to Deccan. Question number 4. Why is Akbar known as the Akbar the Great? Explain in detail. So, in the question, cut, explain in detail. Please cut it in the question. And for this question, come to page number 38. On page number 38, under enrichment activity, it says a ruler is usually considered great only if he proves that he has the important qualities of tolerance, then courage and love for all. In Indian history, now cut the words two rulers both. Cut three words, two rulers both. So the answer will read as in Indian history, Akbar. So instead of two rulers both, write Akbar. In Indian history, Akbar preached and practiced these two virtues and came to be known as and came to be called, right, Akbar the Great. I am repeating the answer. A ruler is usually considered great only if he proves that he has the important qualities of tolerance, courage, and love for all. In Indian history, Akbar preached and practiced these two virtues and came to be called Akbar the Great. This is fourth answer. Now, question number 5 is in what ways did Europeans interact with the rulers of Mughal Empire? Describe the influence of the British in Jahangir's court. For this, come to page number 41. On page number 41, under the heading Foreign Influences and Interactions, it says during the reign of Jahangir, a number of Europeans like Portuguese, the British, and the Dutch had begun to make their presence felt in India. This is first part of the question. For the second part of the question, I am dictating the answer. Note it down. So note it down. In 1608, King James I. In 1608, King James I of Britain sent Captain William Hawkins, and in 1614 he sent Sir Thomas Roe requesting permission to trade with India. I am repeating the second part of the answer. It says in 1608, King James I of Britain sent Captain William Hawkins, and in 1614 he sent Sir Thomas Roe requesting permission to trade with India. Question number 6. Explain how Aurangzeb's Rajput, Deccan and Sikh policies led to the decline of the Mughal Empire. Come to page number 45. Children, mark this answer very carefully. On page number 45, under the heading Religious Policy, first point is, it starts from second line. It is written he discontinued. So instead of he, write Aurangzeb. So it will read as Aurangzeb discontinued the policy of religious tolerance followed. It is still tolerance. So I am repeating. Aurangzeb discontinued the policy of religious tolerance. After that, in the second column under the heading Conflicts Elsewhere, it is written the execution. Found? It is written the execution. Before the execution, you have to write he even ordered. In the same point, this is the first point only, and you have to write he even ordered the execution of the 9th Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur. So I am repeating the first point. First point is Aurangzeb discontinued the policy of religious tolerance. Continuing further, he even ordered the execution of 9 Sikh Guru Tegh Bahadur. Now the second point, for the second point, under the heading Rajput policy, fifth last line, it says Aurangzeb tried to annex, right? So Aurangzeb tried to annex, instead of there write Rajput kingdom. Instead of there write Rajput kingdoms. So the answer will read as Aurangzeb tried to annex Rajput kingdoms. After this, we have to write as a result. As a result, Aurangzeb lost the loyalty and support of Rajputs. I am repeating the second point. Second point is Aurangzeb tried to annex Rajput kingdoms. As a result, Aurangzeb lost the loyalty and support of the Rajputs. This is second point. For third point, come to second column. It is written Aurangzeb repeatedly, right? So we have to write Aurangzeb repeatedly tried to put an end. I am repeating, Aurangzeb repeatedly tried to put an end. Then you have to write there, put an end to rising power of Marathas in Deccan. You have to write rising power of Marathas in Deccan. I am repeating third point. It is Aurangzeb repeatedly tried to put an end to rising power of Marathas in Deccan. After that, we have to write, however, the victories come at a steep cost. Aurangzeb suffered heavy loss of soldiers and money. This is third point. I am repeating all the 3 points again. First point is Aurangzeb discontinued the policy of religious tolerance. He even ordered the execution of 9th Sikh Guru Tegh Bahadur. This is first point. Second point, Aurangzeb tried to annex Rajput kingdoms. As a result, Aurangzeb lost the loyalty and support of the Rajputs. Third point, Aurangzeb repeatedly tried to put an end to rising power of Marathas in Deccan. However, the victories come at a steep cost. Aurangzeb suffered heavy loss of soldiers and money. This is the 3 points form answer number 6. So children, on this note, we have completed chapter 4, the Mughal Empire. And you have to do the fill in the blanks and true false in your books and answer in brief and answer in details in your notebooks. Have a good day, children.